What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today we're going to be doing a 24-hour first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I thought I would switch things up a little bit and bring the phone out to the beach and do a first impressions of it here. You guys have this beautiful background of the sunrise. The sun comes up at about 7:40, so we're getting just basically these beautiful colors right before the sun comes up here, and we've got the waves in the background and everything. Sanibel Island is where I'm at. It's absolutely stunning here. Anyways, I figured I would make this entire video on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I'm not going to edit the video on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, but what I did was I actually took all the notes for this video and wrote them down using the S Pen, all the bullet points and all the talking points that I'm going to use to make this video. And also I've got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus up on the tripod right now, and I'm using split screen mode with the camera going and with my notes up at the same time to make this video. So I just wanted to test out the power of the phone and its battery life in situations such as this. Also, I wanted to try out the S Pen feature, the gestures feature, where you can swipe to get back and forth between the front and rear facing cameras, but I found that while you're using video mode, you cannot do that, unfortunately. I would like to show you what's behind the camera right now, but it's nothing special. It's just my car parked over there and some trees and things like that. So without further ado, in today's video we're going to be talking about some of the things that impressed me the most about the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I'm going to start with the screen. We're going to talk about build quality. We're going to talk about the camera. And we're going to talk about some things that I would take back about this device, as well as some bonus features about this device that I have found work out really well. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and start off with the screen. So I'm reading off my notes here, so if I'm looking away from the camera, just bear with me. Anyways, the screen, the first thing I did was, and many other reviewers did this as well, was they went ahead and they changed their resolution from Full HD 2280 by 1080 to WQHD 3040 by 1440, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. I've actually used an iPhone 10 for about a year, and it had a very high resolution OLED display, but this display just knocks it out of the ballpark. When I'm watching YouTube videos, I can finally watch them in 1440p full resolution, and they just look terrific. Really, they do. On any phone that doesn't support 1440p, you're not going to be able to watch 1440p YouTube videos, but on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus you can. Another thing that I did, there's also some like little bugs and gnats and things like that flying around. Another thing that I did with this video, or with the screen, was I changed it from natural to vivid. Natural colors were a little bit warmer. They look sort of like a true tone display. When you're maybe in a darker environment, it sort of gets a little bit warm. Okay, so another aspect that I want to talk about this phone is functionality. It uses the old soft base navigation method, which you would find on Android 9.0 Pie. As we all know, Android 10 came out yesterday, and it uses gestures-based navigation, like the iPhone 10, 10s Max, and 10R, as well as the 10 do. I prefer gesture-based navigation. I have it on the Google Pixel 3a currently, and I really enjoy it. I downloaded Android 10 last night, and it works fantastic. So I cannot wait for it to come to the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which it is slated to get it sometime maybe in December or early 2020. We'll see. That being said, it's not really a huge deal, but just to clarify, you will have to use the old navigation method. There are no gestures for such a modern device, which is a little bit unfortunate. Biometrics is something I consider a part of functionality. I have found it to work out really well. I do enjoy having face recognition and fingerprint recognition in the same housing at the same time. So if one doesn't work, I can use the other. One little minor inkling that I have about the face recognition feature is that because it isn't true depth, and I'm not sure if it's comparing images that it captures of myself to past images, but it doesn't work when I have sunglasses on for some reason, which is a little bit unfortunate because, if I get in my car and I want to unlock the phone while I'm at a stoplight or something like that and change my song or whatever on my MP3 player, if I have to take my sunglasses off to do it, or I can just use my fingerprint, but sometimes the fingerprint doesn't work all the time. It can be a little bit cumbersome. Anyways, I think each feature is a little bit half-baked. I think the Face ID is a little bit half-baked, and I think so is ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. I think in this day and age, you either need to go one way or the other. You need to have a really good ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, or you need to have a really good facial recognition sensor. Both are being compromised to allow for this bezel-less display. Samsung DeX is another part of functionality that I want to talk about. I think Samsung DeX has a lot of potential. I've used it a little bit. One thing that I found really difficult was transferring files from the phone using Samsung DeX to my MacBook. It has nothing to do with the fact that I use a MacBook. It just has to do with the fact that Samsung DeX is a little bit, maybe you would say, fresh or new. It definitely needs to be worked on a little bit. Another take back with Samsung DeX is it's not in full resolution, and you'll see for yourself, but it does have a lot of potential. If you're someone who does not have a big mobile data plan where you can use your hotspot to connect your computer, use Samsung DeX, really, and just use the mobile data on your phone. So you get to take advantage of the full screen of a laptop and the keyboard and the mouse, and you can access your phone and make it into a miniature computer. Also, I think this is the first time ever that you can technically say you have a computer in your pocket. It's always been like a fun thing to say, oh, a smartphone is a computer in your pocket. But now with Samsung DeX, you actually do have a computer in your pocket. Okay, another piece of functionality that I really like, and I actually have a lot to say about functionality, is the S Pen is actually really awesome. I love the S Pen. The edge-to-edge display is awesome. I've actually used the edge-to-edge display in the Notes app. So like if you don't want to use your finger to scroll over your writing in the Notes app, you can actually use the side of the edge to scroll through your apps. It's actually very useful. You can accidentally mark up, if you're using notes or taking notes, you can accidentally mark up your notes using your finger. So it's really nice to be able to use the edge of the display to scroll through your apps. Palm rejection works really well also when I'm taking notes, and what's actually pretty convenient, which I've noticed lately, is if you actually lay the phone down on a table and take your notes that way with using the S Pen, palm rejection works really well and you don't have to worry about it getting in the way. So another topic I want to cover is camera. This phone has 3 cameras. It has a triple camera setup with one wide-angle lens at 27 millimeters, one telephoto lens at 52 millimeters, and one ultra-wide lens at 12 millimeters. I found the camera to be really, really good. It can look a little bit blown out, but that's if you take pictures in direct sunlight, so avoid taking pictures in direct sunlight to avoid that washed out look. The 27 millimeter lens is nice and cropped. The 52 millimeter lens is nice and zoomed in. It's actually very impressive what you can do with the 52 millimeter lens. Photos just look really rich and full when you take photos with the 52 millimeter lens, and you can actually take some really cool artistic, stylistic photos with the 12 millimeter lens. And I'll go ahead and throw up some pictures for you guys to see that I've taken with each lens. Also, when you get this phone in your hand for the first time, what you'll do is you'll notice on the back there's this like tiny camera. It's a tiny square camera, and what that is it is a 3D VGA camera, and that is used for augmented reality. I've not tried out augmented reality yet, It's something that I just haven't come across yet using it after a day. I've been getting all of my accounts set up and trying out the S Pen and taking notes and getting everything set up for this 24-hour impressions. Basically everything you would do with your phone in the first 24 hours. AR is just not one of those things, but I do see myself using it in the future. So when I do make a review in about a week or so of this phone, I will include some of the AR features. Okay, so some takebacks I have with the device are no S Pen support for Google Keep Notes. Now, I really like to use Google Keep Notes to sync with my Google Pixel 3a, so it would be really nice if I could take notes using the S Pen with Google Keep Notes and sync them with all my other Google devices. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. Now, maybe it's just me and I haven't looked into Google Keep Notes further. Maybe there is S Pen support for it. Nonetheless, when I take the S Pen out of the bottom of the phone, you get a row of applications and a row of options that you can take advantage of to use the S Pen, and Google Keep Notes is not one of those options to take notes with. I would really like to see support for Google Keep Notes with the S Pen. Another takeback that I have is Face ID is not true depth. If I had to score Face ID compared to the Galaxy Note 10, if I had to score Face ID on a sliding scale, it would probably get a 9.5 out of a 10, where Face ID on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus probably would get an 8, a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. It just doesn't work in every use case like the flood illuminator and the dot projector do on the iPhone XS and XS Max and XR. Like I said, no sunglasses support and no facial hair support, so if I'm not recognizable to it, it's not going to work. As where Face ID on the iPhone just adapts to the way you look, even if you're wearing sunglasses, even if you're wearing a hat. Like right now with this hat on, it may or may not recognize me, and that to me is just unacceptable in 2019. Another take back, and this one's an obvious one, is no headphone jack. So making this video, I really did want to use a lapel mic, but I can't. So I'm really disappointed that there's no headphone jack on here. In addition to that, Samsung did not include a USB-C to headphone jack adapter in the box, which is something Apple does. They include a lightning port to 3.5 millimeter adapter, and that's something that I would really like to see on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, or come with the Note 10 Plus, because right now I could really benefit from having a lapel microphone. Not a general use case, like not everyone's going to be going, oh man, I can't use my lapel microphone, but actually in the box, the AKG headphones just really don't work for me, and I don't have a pair of wireless earbuds. I know, I'm not 2019, but if you're someone who doesn't want to spend $100 or $80 or whatever it is for a decent pair of wireless earbuds, you're stuck with the 3.5 millimeter headphones like I am. And the phone does come with AKG USB-C headphones in the box, but like I said, they just don't fit in my ears, and they really don't sound all that great. They're just okay. That being said, I really wish there was a headphone jack or USB-C to 3.5 millimeter in the box. Also, one final take back is no immediate update to Android 10. Like I said earlier, it won't be coming out till sometime in December or early 2020. So Android 10 is something that I would really like to see on this phone with gesture support. It's 2019. I really want gesture support on this beautiful device. It really is an absolutely stunning device. It makes everything else look futuristic, but sometimes it doesn't feel futuristic. Or excuse me, it makes everything else look antiquated, but sometimes it just doesn't feel futuristic like it should. That's my 24 hours with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I really enjoy using this device. This screen is just absolutely phenomenal, like everyone says it is. I actually have never seen anything clearer on an electronic device. since using this Note 10 Plus. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this beautiful scenery behind me. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is John. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.